Make it make sense, Jackson. You gotta make it make sense, Jackson. You got to, Jackson, Jackson. Oh, hey, good people, I see you moving. I need you proud. I need you looking. I need you smile. Walking third.
Welcome.
That last
Jackson.
welcome was needed, boy. Y'all should know. Turn on your TVs.
Nigga daddy, you know, the last of the last, you know, it's the ding 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 knockout.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Make It Make Sense, Jackson. I am your host, Keanu Perry, along with my co-host,
Tariq Abdul Tawab.
Tarek Abdul Tawab, and like always,
Yeah.
we welcome y'all to our last day.
Our last day.
Of our 5-day-a-week show.
That's right. That's right. The first, and then when the young man says it, just understand, because he needs to be saying the first, the only podcast in Mississippi, I believe, that is not a far to the other side, 5 days a week.
Oh yeah, Well, not as concerning, you know, because they don't really understand stuff like you understand, and they don't care as much as we do. I know that by now.
And they keep pushing y'all off the phone for telling them racism exists in Mississippi and rush y'all off the phone.
Oh, you doing shot.
Yeah, early Fridays, first quarter.
But yeah, like always, man, you know how we do it. We hope y'all done something productive today. If you have not done something productive today, get up and try to do something productive. You know, as the city is being set on fire, like Martin Luther King said, we let our people start burning fire. We the one trying to put it out.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you are no longer here with us, we always like to start off with a moment of silence for the ones that have not made it. All right.
And coming through, KP, in Jackson, Mississippi, there are concerns that current Mayor John Horhn may be charged with RICO charges. When folks ask where do those concerns come from, we look at the myriad of things that Mayor Horhn has given away. Some people say in crackhead style when it comes to the city's resources. Mayor John Horhn has stimulated the release of our airport land around the airport. He has urged the citizens of Jackson to turn over their water authority and then screamed that he was tricked when he did not get the majority. He went with Ted Hennepin to D.C. to beg for another $15 million and then said that Ted wasn't his friend. Though this may seem comical, Jackson, Mississippi, and these United States, there's not one thing funny about what I'm saying. As you're going to start to see as we uncover more and more, RICO charges are the only type of approach that is rightful for this group of gangsters that we have in office right now here in Jackson. And every day we find out something new that makes us feel like maybe we were wrong, right? And we'll call each other and say, man, you know what I found out? And you'll say, oh, what did you find out? That maybe Mayor Horhn did something different to help us, or the city council all of a sudden came back and they're planning on doing right by us. And unfortunately, each time we find out something new, and I'm so tempted then to go into newer things. But yeah, each time we find something new. So we want you to understand that that's the place we're in now. If we don't approach this from a case of RICO charges, meaning you have one person, one entity, one group here that is actually not just leading us into a burning fire, but is taking their hand and sticking it in every single place where Black Jacksonians suffer. That'd be a fair way to start.
Oh yeah, it's a very fair way to start. It's almost like he's that black token that they chose just to conquer the city.
Far beyond that too. Yeah, it's a, you know how you have a chosen one and you have one that welcomes it, right? We're gonna play a clip that's gonna start off where you understand this RICO charge approach. And I don't like using police charges. Probably the last show I'll do that with. It was funnier than anything. But when you start watching the way our city is being laid out to suffer and to fail, and that's coming from our leadership. Right, when we start there, then we can figure out a way to get around this. Take a look at this, guys. Former Fire Chief Willie Owens on our show here.
Just hopefully, I hope a lot of the public is listening, because there are a lot of things that are going on with the Jackson Fire Department that are not right. Okay, I said that before, and I'm gonna say it again. There are things going on with Jackson Fire Department that is not right, and if it doesn't get corrected in a timely manner, there's going to be some serious consequences.
Absolutely. So let's step back a moment, Chief, and you're absolutely correct. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk us through this for the people so that they get the full impact of what you mean by that, because I think it goes deeper even than the danger that the Chief just laid out. Well, you got to understand what that was right there, right? As we swing back, you got to understand, and I'm gonna wait for what that was. We're going to continue to put this there because here we talk about narrative shifting, right? What happens is as we go through a disaster, as we've gone through in Jackson quite a few, you have folks that now are city council, our mayor, that are trying to shift the narrative. Well, the mayor's not, and in his defense, he's not even pretending he's doing anything different. Big ups for the realness, Horn. He's just doing what he wants to do, and he just doesn't answer calls. And that's the older black men in the community telling us that. Yeah. And I don't even think it's what he's told to do at this point. I'm gonna be honest with you, KP. And we're gonna, I used to give him that, but see, some people are scared. At this point, I think you are fully conducting. You're fully entrenched. Maybe you were told by your daddy what to do 10 years ago when this plan started. When you were 3 weeks old and you all moved to Jackson, what is it, 55, Mayor Horn, which was about the time that the white power structure here fully understood integration was going to happen. The Voting Act that happened 10 years later was going to happen. Don't ever let them trick you about politics. You can see the trend of something coming. You know whether you're soon going to have gay marriage legalized, for example, right? And I use that as something because a lot of us lived through it. So you started to see the writing on the walls that folks had the votes for something before it happened, right? Affirmative action. In the same way when you saw things being undone, when abortion was overturned, actually by who was one of the driving forces here in Mississippi was Mayor John Horn's own entrepreneurial team member, William Herring's mother. Yeah, she led the overturning of it. Everything and everyone he coordinates with are Republicans and far right on top of that. You would never think that let me just say this. So it's California especially, right? Just because we've talked about it. You would never think that a black Democrat mayor, quote Democrat, he's a plantation Democrat, and you all know what that means. It's not insulting, that's real. That a black mayor in Mississippi would have so much of a Republican lineup that the mother of one of his entrepreneurial members helped overturn abortion. And I just say that because Rover, you're talking about a political stalemate between Republicans and Democrats, even if some within the party have different beliefs. This is about as anti-Democrat and Democratic National Party since the the political science department at Tougaloo has listened yet. Alcorn political science department hasn't spoken up yet. We haven't received any pigeon mail, nothing of that nature. They just shh. And I know why. I mean, when I'm teaching my son history lessons, based off of asking him, does he understand about Democrats, and Whigs, and the root of why slavery stopped, and he understands that it happened, but it was never contextualized at an HBCU, and that's not an HBCU type experience at that point, right? Shout out Gil Scott Herring, right? When you talk about things that come from HBCUs, right? Until these folks start pushing back in, we're going to have to make sense of this ourselves. So I think that, and I'm getting thrown off here a little bit because I don't want to get off course of this water, and I want us to stay on it because we've got to talk about how they're misleading us on this water. But what you just saw there with that fire, just to stick to that, it was a former Chief Willie Horn really telling us as a community, I hope you're listening. This wasn't a fire captain like you have as a chief now. No disrespect to Captain Rashawn, who's now Chief Rashawn, but he has the experience of a captain. That's just reality, right? Former Chief Willie Owens had the experience of a chief, 40 years, I'm sorry. So you heard in the clip, he just said, you need to be concerned. Now, he told us, as it's on our Facebook page, that he told Mayor Horn, now look at what's happening. You're about to see these articles we're going to pull up and start showing you what's happening when he didn't listen to former Chief Willie. So he told Mayor Horn, do not put someone low in there. If you do not put the assistant chief as your chief, this city is in trouble. And now we're in trouble.
You didn't put Patrick Armon in there.
He said, if you don't put Patrick Armon in there, and he called us, remember? Yeah. He said, KP Tarek, this is wrong because if you go look at our show, he came on there months ago before anything happened. So you can never claim Chief Willie Owens was bought. He retired when he wanted to. You can't say he was disgruntled. This is a beautiful situation where you can just believe it. There's no reason for this brother to say it unless it happened. He's retired when he wants to, out living, shaking hands, still loved by everybody I see him come across in the city. Why would he stop with absolutely nothing to gain and turn around and tell us something? He said, I have receipts on these things, he told us. So first thing he told your mayor, this city's in trouble. Then what did you see start happening? Fire truck burns. 2 other trucks are burned with it, right? Ladder truck. We find out it's supposed to be 3 to 4 people on a ladder truck. He's got 1 person, up to 2 on there. We're talking about this captain, Rashawn. We're going to call it what it is for you. We're not trying to respect the position, but for your benefit, we're going to say captain, because that means he was over 2 to 3 people. That's what the chief told us. And then you're wondering why time after time after time, these things keep happening, where instance after instance. So you let Local 1087 essentially take control.
Yeah.
That's what you did. And now you have incidents of Jackson firefighters placed on leave due to being drunk. Chief Willie would never. And he told you.
We passed our background check by now, y'all. We ain't lied to y'all yet. I mean, come on.
This is ridiculous at this point. The chief, I mean, at what point are you going to let somebody continue to just rob you of your, I don't know what to call it right now, is dignity? Or does John Horn just not come into the city? He tried to walk by the young man and act like he was something big. It didn't even work all the way there. He kept it up like the first 2 seconds, and then it was like he breathed out and all the air just left. He's breathing that on all you all.
I didn't know he was that short. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Napoleon statue. It's something happening here where it's just, this is just ridiculous at this point, where you'll show up for anybody but the people of Jackson. I guarantee you. If let me tell you something. If Japan has a hurricane, John Horn would talk about it. And I'm being realistic. I'm not making up something. Go look in the Senate books at what John Horn feels like he needs to make resolutions for. That man can pay attention to anything but there. But anyhow, he tells the Mayor Horn, do not do this. And Mayor Horn said, not only am I going to do it, but I'm not going to put Assistant Chief Armour in, but I'm going to put a captain in. Now, Willie, I know you. Maybe they both part of 100 Black Men. So maybe he didn't like something happening, or maybe this was and this is what I assume. Because the other vocal members, pull up 100 Black Men, let's see what members could have said something. Because the other vocal members of 100 Black Men didn't say anything, it makes it look like it's just a complete plan on behalf of those powerful ones within there. This is how you make yourself look like you're doing. I'm telling my child all the time, stop looking guilty, right? You wasn't even doing anything. You over there, eyes darting to the left and right. This is how you start looking at 100 Black Men, like what's going on over there, right? But now, the government, out of all the nonprofits, the government fakes a charge against them. You remember? The government said, we're looking at 100 Black men for their spending practices. We're going to crack down on nonprofits. First off, they're not talking about them type of nonprofits. Not 100 Black Men ain't marching on nobody. That's not even who the far right is talking about. But anyways, Shad White, we're going to track down. So the first thing they do is they go to 100 Black Men. It's almost like I threaten you. You get what I mean? Because you didn't go for any of the organizations really doing the work in terms of that they're talking about. I'm not knocking 100 Black Men. I'm saying Shad White and a lot of Republicans talk about bail funds. They talk about folks that are talking about defund the police. You know, those are the people they're talking about. Yeah. That's not 100 Black Men's lane. So it's strange that all of a sudden the government almost threatened them to let them know, you better act right. I'm going to put these charges, and all of a sudden they went away.
So it's like they was telling them, you better give me what I want.
That's right. That's the way it seemed. Now we just get into shock jock radio, right? It's late in the evening, right? That's the way it felt to us. You know, you watching and you're like, man, what are you doing? Just checking them? You just checking their temperature? You know what I'm talking about? Like they were checking their temperature. So when nobody else in 100 Black Men said anything, that's the first thing that made me think, okay, well, what's going on? Why are we not hearing from everybody else? And for Chief Willie to have the history that he has, it was very strange. And when you start looking at a lot of things, that you look at Downtown Jackson Partners, when you look at LaForest Bluff East, which is something we're all focusing on right now, then you start to understand a little better, because a lot of these folks in these higher positions are involved with some of these other efforts that are hurting the average Jacksonian. But anyways, you see story after story after story after story. We actually have lost lives at this point. And you're talking about in a rapid amount of time. Our insurance rating, ISO. There's another clip the chief has did. We'll put it up, where Chief Willie came on and said, and before it happened, every single thing you see happening, he said, this will happen if you don't do the right thing, Horn. When are you going to love yourself enough to not let him roll through City Hall and walk by y'all waving to him? We're going to start clowning y'all that are waving to him. You know what? Mayor John Horn's wife kissed Governor Tate on the cheek during his inauguration. It's things that when I was talking about Hillman Frazier hugging up on, man, this stuff's not feeling right. Did what? She kissed Tate on it. And that's not knocking her. It makes me think, what is Horn's real relationship here? Now, I understand across the aisle, but Governor Tate let the whole city starve for 8 years because he didn't like the mayor. Let that sink in. He let babies go hungry. Your lips aren't going on my wife's cheeks. And if they are, we about to have a conversation, Mrs. Abdul-Tawwab, after this.
No reports of Jackson make it to his desk.
Yes, he said, don't worry about Jackson getting anything. I don't even let their proposals get to my desk. Now, how are you kissing this man? Mrs. Horn. And Senator Horn's responsible for that.
I wish he was.
That's Senator Horn who's responsible. I'm not going to take that on his wife. Whatever you did with your relationship with that man made her comfortable enough to do that.
You know, more to come back on your blade. I wish it was one of them kids.
Man, it wasn't. It wasn't. And it probably should. It wasn't. It was a kiss of familiarity. The same way Hillman Frazier up there hip to hip with this woman trying to take away voting rights. The same way, who was the senator yesterday? Senator Mumford said she was shocked that the far right was trying to take away our voting rights. And then a council member called up and said, a city member said, what the hell do you mean you're shocked? What the hell? I'm 80 years old in Mississippi. You're shocked that the far right, white supremacist entities, and that's what the far right have always been here in Mississippi. Just because as a politician, you all are afraid to say it, doesn't mean we're afraid to say it. And that's horrible. I'd run for politics tomorrow if the people needed that, if we needed that. And I promise you, I would say the word white supremacy every day. And it's possible. There's no rule against it. I want you to stop making these people think that make you think that I'm a politician now. Hey, Barber, I can't say that he's racist. He's a liar. Go look at the far right politicians. They say it all day. And they say it on record in Congress. No problem. Well, you black people, that's in Congress. I'm about Jasmine Crockett's hair and nail. They don't care to call it ghetto. But they'll tell you they can't say nothing about white supremacy.
It's the culture of people. That's what they say.
You got to make it make sense. They'll call black woman in the middle of a congressional hearing ghetto, but then your black leader will tell you, I can't say that they're racist. Let's think of another way to say it. Why don't we say they don't have a passion for togetherness? You weak back, gel spine. Oh, man, I know your hair stink. I'm sorry. I know your hair stink when it get wet. There's those little things, man, that I come from. It says a different. I know it does, Yakub. There's just so many names we say for some of these black men that are really, and black women, that are the white supremacists in blackface, right? Because they can do it so much more efficiently. If DePriest had become mayor, there's no way he does all these things, right? Without the Democrats, someone saying, hey, DePriest, calm down, buddy. You know, like that crazy black cop on the stop. Cops are like, brother, I'm not with him. I've seen that before. They let you know I'm not doing that. Right? Because he wants so bad to be protected by being accepted. That's something we got to start dropping. You want to be protected by being accepted, and you're too stupid to understand that once you're accepted, you're unprotected. You're a nigger. That's the word given to you, and that's the word still being used in 2026 by the people you're trying to cozy up to. But then when a senator gets a call from a black elderly person that says, every interaction I've had with Caucasians has caused me harm, he gets rushed off the phone. Boy, you in trouble. Now, let the upper people say that I'm talking too reckless. And I've got family members from that part. Oh, yeah, you're just a little too extreme. And you just let them say that if you have a lot of money. But for you, I'm talking to you right here. That gets affected by those decisions. You don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can't run to Madison or Pearl. You don't have money that you don't have to worry about the water system. You can't keep and sustain your children away in schools to just for 10, 15 years. You just can't sustain it. You try. Lord knows you try. You look for private schools. You try to scrimp all your money up. You try to put them into one of the charter schools until you realize if you're not one of them, you're not one of them. If you ain't got the change, you ain't got if you're in that group, which we call the rest of us, man, we in trouble when a senator says, shh, with all that racism talk in 2026 under Donald Trump, under Tate Reeves, and unfortunately under John Horn. Any black leader that tells you to shh, but they should be talking about something, talk about it, that'll get them more votes. Mumford? What did I say?
No, you said senator. I know you want to talk about Mumford, right?
Was that who was on there? That said, you know, whenever you ask me, you make me double think. But yes, that's why now you make me, the way you asked it, did I say the wrong name?
I didn't know. I thought it was another senator that said it.
It could have been. No, I thought it was. See, it was Mumford. I thought it was. Yes, it was. You see how we did this? Look, I hate that they think this is our process. That is not how we verify information. Me and KP don't just look at each other and say, yeah, you know, we actually go through a process, but no, it was Mumford.
Oh, come test it if you want.
No, I wasn't trying to rile you
I've been waiting on one of y'all.
But no. That those type of responses you can't have. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And see, this is the beauty. Today we're on, and we didn't tell people, you know, we kept saying yesterday's prices and today's price, but we've accelerated from that. Now we're in what's called real time, HD. So that means whatever you do, we say real time, and we try to amplify it so the whole world can see. We'll let the chips crumble where they may. If we're doing something wrong in that real time moment, then let it be seen, right? But real time, every time we see you and hear you. Mumford, I was driving in, and this is why especially that bothered me, right? This is why especially that bothered me. a young lady came up to me, one of the young ladies we were at the water meeting, and she came up, and I think she said she was from Connecticut, right? And she was with some type of filming organization. I think it was part of JSU filming. You remember when she came up, and she was like, well, yeah, I would like to work with you. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you want to work with me. I don't really do that type of stuff. I'm really about this action. You probably want to take some videos of someone. I try to point it towards some people to do that, right? And she was like, well, no. And she called me, and then she started talking to me. I'm sorry. And she ended up having to get off the phone. I exhausted her because she thought I would be an atmosphere for her to speak, unfortunately. And she's like 30 or something. And she started talking about how different she is from other Black women. She was like, well, I don't think that the overweight Black women in the inner city understand, how they're being viewed and how different they are, because most women that have money would never be overweight. And I was like, what are you talking about? Overweight women? Are you crazy? You think they discriminate against someone because of their weight size? Let me get $20 to them next week. And the more she just kept spewing, and it wasn't like she's not a white supremacist, she's not a racist. She just clearly was raised in a bubble and is so ill-informed. And she made me think of the senator's response to the gentleman that told the senator, listen, I'm an elder, and all of my interactions with white folks have resulted in pain. Now, let me say this, Senator. I've had a lot of interactions with white folks that haven't resulted in pain. I have some comrades that are white that fight against y'all daily in their own space. That's not his reality. In me understanding my grandfather's grandfather, being not in a bubble, but around Black people all my life, being raised by Black people, here's the key, that love Black people. So if you're raised by somebody like apparently John Horn, and I'm sorry, the apple got to fall from the tree. I get held accountable for what my children do every day. So whoever raised John Horn, raised him in a way that he just does not care about Black people, the average Black person. So if that's your background, and this was this young lady by far, and sister, if you're listening, you definitely were raised by people that don't care about the average Black person. We from the same atmosphere. You certainly were raised by people that don't care about the average Black person. And you do care a little more because you're trying to connect with them. You were just far too exhausting for me to listen to for more than 30 minutes because that's your parents' job to do better than that. And I like to help those without and those that don't have that opportunity. And you can just listen to me and it can help your mindset and understand what you need to do for your people. But we don't need to have direct interaction for me to have that level of stress to hear a Black woman talk other Black women about size instead of talking to the folks facilitating the food desert. Young lady, if you had any courage in you, if you had any Blackness in you, you would attack them food deserts first. If there was any thought about healthiness, you would attack the medical system first. If there was any thought that your sisters were not healthy. That's why I know you fraud. That's why y'all stopped coming to me and asked me to collaborate, because I call you out right there. Do you love your people? You tell me yes, you're a lie. Because if you love your people, you would attack who's doing what you think is happening. So if you think they overweight because they don't have healthy options, if you think they overweight because they eat yakimi and noodles all day, if you think that's why it is, then tell me how many food desert strikes you've led. Tell me how many times you've attacked this state government for what they are not giving in terms of health benefits. Tell me how many times you've asked them about every 15 out of every 1,000 Black babies dying. I'll wait, because you sure want to pop up when a brother gets hot and say, let's shoot some video together. Man, if you don't take your wide-faced self somewhere else, y'all going to learn that's not what we about. And y'all piss me off when y'all bring that monetary gain stuff to us, excuse me. That's not what we're about. Take that somewhere else. I probably would have kept a $200,000 job instead of trying to stand up for my people. This man would have probably went a total different direction in his city. Just like every other city person you see getting called a thug and a gangster by Stokes, who instead of taking advantage and going in the city and going crazy, folks are trying to do something and hold on to themselves. We're not them type of people, but guess what? Your leaders are. Downtown Jackson Partners is a perfect example. And you're going to learn over the next few days the racist nature, the racist birth. Might as well have a Birth of the Nation episode of Downtown Jackson Partners. That's how racist their birth was. Pushed honest Black people out with the Downtown Jackson Incorporated, which was the actual, look, right on time, which was the actual company that's supposed to, it was Uncle Ruckus was on the screen. I'm one, you throw it to me, I'll own it. And John that's him right there. As soon as we do something, put them to work. Who wants to come put these 14 to 16-year-olds to work? Looking and pointing at something. It's him and Stokes dancing between it. But Stokes is just trying to be relevant. Johnny Boy was there from the beginning this garbage started. Stokes is just trying to stay relevant. That's why he's shaking his booty and John's not. John trying to give it away. Stokes is like, look at me, I'll be blue. And y'all remember that Uncle's book? I'll be Baloo, and he looked just like Baloo out there. I'll be Baloo, or whatever you want me to be, I'll be it. Just look at me. I'll be in front of my house with a beach chair and a Stokes hat that I've got Stokes written at the mall at one of them little booths. Stokes, or I'll be on a beach chair. I'll do whatever it takes for me to be in front of the camera. And he told one of his mentees that just stay in front of the camera. So Kenneth Stokes just wants to be king of the Negroes, meaning if anything happens around these Negroes, pay me. I didn't get some of it, pay me. That's what he wants to do. John Horn is a different breed. John Horn is a different breed. He's the son of a labor organizer. John was born in 55. That means his daddy maximized in what, 35? Do the math, Mississippi, and some of you old folk call in and help us out. Tell us what a labor organizer in 35 was looking like. Who he know? Yes, sir. Who he know? What's he setting up? Why did he move to Jackson with Baby John? Why did Baby John come into the Senate in 1993 and immediately start wrecking shop on Jackson? Why are you still paying for the decisions John Horn made in 96 in Jackson right now? Where's Downtown Jackson Incorporated? You just erased them? Oh, you young bucks don't know what that is. That's what Downtown Jackson Partner took away from you. Downtown Jackson Incorporated would have been your future. Now, you would have had the Renaissances and the Highland Villages. That would have been for you. But you don't know that John Horn came in and said, no, sir, you Negroes don't have nothing. My daddy set me up for one reason only, to pay a tab. Now, let me shake that tab and pay it. And that tab's called you, Jackson. And he's been paying that tab for 30 years, moved more than $1 billion in funds through Jackson. He'll tell you he did it for us, but all that man can show you is the museum showing us what happened to us. Make it make sense, Jackson. Don't get bothered with me. He the one shanking you under the table, no Vaseline, the whole city. And he started this in 1996, him and Dale Danks. Oh, you don't want to talk about that, though. Oh. You want to pretend that you just found out about John. Some of you older people are going to get exposed, too. What you do in the dark.
Leland Speed, the one that
come out in the light.
That participated in creating Downtown. Leland Speed.
Which was Capital Care Incorporated, which the idea was, we're going to shake you before we take you. I shouldn't even told you the secret, right? We're just going to let you sit there and just cook for a while. Which one of y'all was down with Capital Care Incorporated? Some of y'all's children are still here in Jackson acting like they're freedom fighters. We're going to shake you for you. We're going to turn that oven to preheat, let you sit there for a moment before that documentary drops. 35 shares. You can't hide anymore.
And still working with his son.
Yeah, they know you won't try to take our message away. They heard us on 90.1 when Benny was running again, and all of a sudden the call stopped. They know that they've been calling all day and say, can you get a morning show on 90.1? You all the hottest, and you see no movement. You see nobody wants to pick us up. They're hip now. So when we posted something, they said, come on, 35, share. You were hot. I know it's hurting your soul. I know Shonda Yates is like, so you telling me, she can't do the math. You tell me 35 could have shared to 35. That's a lot of people that know what I'm doing in Jackson now. I can't keep pretending I'm black. And I'm not saying she's doing that, but a lot of people thought she was. A lot of people I talked to said she. Yeah, no, 35. So when we posted, 35 people reposted. And who knows how many of their people reposted. We don't need WLBT anymore. Going back to your racist ways of the past, where you got sanctioned because you wouldn't talk about what's happened during the civil rights. At Mississippi today, I know you think you're better. You're not. You're an accessory to crime. All of you, if you're a newspaper, let me just stop to make it WFWABT. If you're a newspaper, unless you're one of these minority newspapers that are telling the truth, and just because a minority runs you does not mean you're one of them. If your truth don't go on there, if you're a newspaper and you didn't tell the world, they trying to drag your ex-mayor down to Oxford so that they can racially hang him. If that didn't run on the front of your paper, you are accessory to the crime. You're a coon paper. You can do better. You can do better. I love you, and I did better. I was in places that I didn't want to be in and didn't befit someone that was trying to lead this community. I'm no one to throw stones, but the community held me accountable, and I'll do the same for you. Every newspaper, none of you have passed the test. None of you. Maybe the Final Calls talked about it. Now we in that situation. Maybe the Final Call, big up Brother Abrams. Maybe they passed the test as a newspaper. I can't think of any other newspaper that's been real about what's been happening. And I don't know that I just haven't read it. I'm saying that's the only one I would think that would have the courage to be real. The Final Call, the Nation of Islam paper. They generally don't have a problem talking about white supremacy. And when they tried to drag the former mayor after they already took him out of office, you're good. We got a new mayor, John Horn, but they don't want you to focus on what Johnny's doing. They want you to keep focusing on the trial. So they try to take it to Oxford. They really taking it to Oxford because they don't want you to see this evidence and who in your community is doing what. They know in Oxford, only the Oxfordians will see it. It'll never get back to you. So why now? No, you got to keep it in Hinds County. They got quiet. But let's talk about that because someone from Maryland just jumped on. Someone from California, someone from North Carolina, someone that looked at Chokwe that was in office before and was like, oh, he lost the mayoral office. Okay, that's cool. But you didn't know that they tried to take him into Oxford and to judge him in Oxford so they can lie on him there and get more time. And now they're talking about doing things to Benny. And now people are like, no, not Benny. Well, Benny, this is what I love about freedom. When you stay quiet, Benny, while they took a piece of paper that Chokwe was holding, it was like, He's stealing. And Jody was like, yeah, he didn't take any money. Everybody was like, yeah, he's not taking any money. And Benny was like, shh, Tougaloo, shh. And everybody decided, I don't know if Benny said it. I don't know if Zakiya said it. I don't know if Ron said it. I don't know if, who's the guy, Hillman Frazier said it. Because they all just got quiet. Don't tell nobody they're trying to lynch Showboy. Shh.
You know what it said? Who? Remember Charles Tisdale, the man.
Oh, man, you keep trying to do it to him. We're going to go to a break. This young man keeps trying to drop hints. And Charles definitely would have. Rest in peace, my brother. On the second half of this break, let's talk a little more about what folks did in the dark and how we're going to bring it to the light. Make it make sense.
The Mississippi Link is an African-American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, keepers of the knowledge for people who speak the truth since 1993. Link significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippiLink.com and click on Home Delivery.
SocratesGarrettENT.com is a diversified firm specializing in recycled aggregates and crushed concrete. SocratesGarrettENT.com's recycled materials provide the construction industry with significant economic and environmental benefits by recycling clean concrete rubble into M.DOT grade rock materials. Recycled aggregates and crushed concrete can be applied to driveways, road construction, bank protection, parking lots, general bulk fills, and more. By using SocratesGarrettENT.com's crushed concrete products, anyone from homeowners to general contractors can help reduce landfilled concrete waste, conserve natural resources, and gain significant economic savings on materials and disposal costs. For more information, please call 601-896-0084 or visit us online at SocratesGarrettENT.com.
To make it make sense, Jackson, I'm your esteemed host, Tarek Abdul-Tawwab, along with my wise co-host. I was thinking of two words at once. AKA KP, AKA Young Man. So when you hear me say Young Man, we all know I'm not speaking to myself.
Hey, the only person in the world with his name.
Hey, that's right. That's the only him. That's gonna be the new you, the new one. They only him. But no. Welcome back to that second flip of the quarter, the second half of the break. During that first half, we were everywhere. Let me just tell you, there's sometimes I can't even recap for you because we touched the world there.
It's only us.
Hey, it's only us, but we did talk about some real things. We compared Mayor Horn to Uncle Ruckus, and it was a very, very strong comparison, and one that, let me tell you, there's a such thing as being mean and truthful. When being mean is one thing, that's when no truth matches. Uncle Ruckus actually sometimes it does a little better than Mayor Horn, right? Once in a while, you see him looking at his nephew like, oh, nephew, you still a you know what, but go and get a piece of that. We don't get a piece of nothing. John don't give us a piece of nothing. Cancel the skate park, cancel Christmas, cancel Thanksgiving, combine departments. Don't give these Negroes nothing.
And he ain't got no nephews like Huey and Riley.
Yeah, he ain't got no nephews. You see him and you don't feel like he does. Don't give them nothing. If your last name's Patel, if you are part of Downtown Jackson Partners, giving him his due credit, he did come into the game with Downtown Jackson Partners. They just had a different alias then. You didn't know that, did you? That Downtown Jackson Partners and John Horn came. You didn't know that John Horn made Downtown Jackson Partners possible, did you?
I don't think they're ready.
They're not ready for that yet. Watch the website. We're going to drop that document. You didn't know that Liz Brister and John Horn, you couldn't have one without the other. You didn't know you wouldn't have one without the other. Without Downtown Jackson Partners, there's no John Horn right now. And without John Horn in 1996, there's no Downtown Jackson Partners. And for any of you that consider yourself businessmen and leaders and you don't know what I'm talking about, shame on you. And you should ask them before we drop the documentary what I'm talking about. You as a community. If that person considers themselves a leader and they can't tell us how John Horn opened the door to Downtown Jackson Partners, even though they had an alias then, in 1996, when we drop it on you, we're going to shame him. Tell the truth, shame a councilman or a black leader. Tell the truth, shame a leader. That's what we on today. Forget the devil.
Yes, sir. Say one thing.
Yes, sir. You ready for this?
I'm so ready.
This man got too much knowledge. He's bursting with knowledge.
Okay, I'm just saying yes. Leland Speed. If you don't know who Leland Speed is, I think he was the mayor of Jackson in 1980, 1990. I could be wrong. He was the previous mayor of Jackson, like a couple, like 30, 50 years ago. Leland Speed was a driving force behind the creation of Downtown Jackson Partners, DJP, and is widely credited as its founder. And get this, Leland Speed's son, Warren Speed,
Mr. Speed, you up?
is also doing business with John Horn. And guess where they're doing business at? LaFleur's Bluff. When they got their money back, what was the ARPA funds?
Yeah. They got 18 million went towards LaFleur's Bluff, 5 for the museum, 13 for the park, but LaFleur's Bluff East, where this gentleman controls that, is in control of that money. They have an MOU with the city, so they're able to do what they want. And part of that MOU is taking Partham Bridges Park, blocking it off to the public. But finish what you were saying. Warren Speed.
Warren Speed, yeah. And they are part of the BID, the Business Improvement District in Mississippi. And that was created, that was created in 1996, I think.
Oh man, you doing it. Yes, it was. He know I'm like, yes. 1990. Now understand, the Business Improvement District at the time was created in Jackson. None existed in Mississippi. As a matter of fact, Mississippi had such a bad record with voting rights, where after they said black people have the right to vote, Mississippi boasted 7% of their state voting, right? The federal government said you can't do bids unless we are absolutely sure that the Negroes want it. Now, which Negro will speak for you and say that they want it? Well, let's just talk about who didn't. You're going to have to watch the documentary to find out which Negro spoke up and said we wanted business improvement districts here that would allow all of the power to be taken away. We wanted something, but we wanted something under the name of Downtown Jackson, Inc. Y'all don't hear me. One of y'all jump on there and tap it. I know one of y'all sisters or brothers was part of Downtown Jackson, Inc. You don't have to tell the people what that was. That was the original Downtown Jackson Partners, made up of Jacksonians, both black and white. Those that lived here, were from here, and had access, had a connection to the city. Jacksonians. That was taken over. And it's not just us saying that it was taken over, right? So you just have to understand there's a difference in what happened and what people tell you happened. And right now, a lot of people are winning because they're just not telling you. And when you have folks that are backing up a lot of it, and you have to even wonder how, when you wonder how this happened, right? Well, how did we not know that these people were like this before, right? Well, yeah, y'all are telling us now and it's great, but how did I not notice? It's because you have so many people that help these people. Kane Ditto.
There's a lot of Canes.
Yeah. Kane Ditto was part of the original CCI, Capital Care Incorporated, who missed Hurricane and all Charles Tisdale, rest in peace. Ain't the Advocate? Are we close to the Advocate where it's printed? Charles Tisdale sued the city council, right? Sued Kane Ditto and said they were sneaking money to Downtown Jackson Partners, then called CCI. So when Kane Ditto came back on, they was worried. John brought him back. And they were like, oh, that people gonna remember. You know how to block, but you want to block? Ain't that police? People gonna remember. So what do we need? We need somebody from within to stamp Ditto so nobody remembers. And I called him finally back for a minute. Here come old Otha Kane with that gummy worm back. Today I like Lumumba. Yesterday he hated Lumumba. Then he showed us support Lumumba. Now it's all Lumumba's fault when he's talking with Stokes in the school. But now we see that worm back tactics ain't just started yesterday. Go look back in June of 2025 when Horn bought Kane Ditto on. Former mayor, now real estate developer Kane Ditto knows the value of Jackson. This is a black man talking. This is Otha Kane. Knows the value of Jackson. He saw the forecast when he was in office and he hasn't stopped since. What's the matter, boss? We sick? And he hasn't stopped since. I remember it like it was yesterday. You could believe me, I'm a Negro just like you. Look at every part of this. This is how it happens. Don't get mad at me because I asked. Because at the time, they'd be like, Kane Ditto, but who legitimized him? This is how it happens, right? He was listening to the people. Kane was. I would submit. Let me go further because I'm one of them Negroes that got to make you believe with my passion that he's right. Kane only paid $5. Kane, I'm going to give you $7. Here go the last line. I would submit his passion is not because he's looking for something. I'm sorry, man. I don't see how y'all sit around people like this every day and let them come in. I was there continuing with this, but I was just looking at the back of his head like I know your hair running from you. Because I can't take them chicken tactics, man. This man actually said with his mouth, Kane Ditto was an extension of Dale Danks. Dale, and he knows this. If I know it, this Negro knows it. Dale Danks started the Blue Ribbon Committee to find out how they can get a hold, the white power structure can get a hold on downtown Jackson, right? Studied other cities. That that changed to Capital Care Incorporated, which Kane Ditto, it started under his administration, and he gave them the leeway. Kane Ditto is right now on Downtown Jackson's board. And for this Negro to open his mouth and say, I would submit, this is who's holding the door open. Don't worry about Kane. If somebody come to you and tell you they're going to give you free money, you'll probably take it, unfortunately, if it's in the white community. So Kane came back. He got called back. Otha was probably right there with John. I'm a vouch for you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the other stuff. He looking at what we looking at. Oh, Kane's like, they're not going to let me back. Look what I did. They know now. Make it make sense is out there. It's your own people that don't respect you. Man, don't worry about make it make sense. They fickle and uneducated too. They scared. They ain't going to say it. Negro, I got the post. I'm going to reread the rest of it. So I would submit his passion is not because he's looking for something in return. I'm sorry. He really said this. Kane Ditto is not from a selfish place. He had the American anthem playing in the background, Uncle Ruckus silently on the other TV. I would submit his passion is not because he's looking for something in return, like the Downtown Jackson partners that he's on, but rather from a place, oh God, and this is Otha Kane saying this. Listen, rather from a place of knowing where Jackson should, good old white massa know best and could be. That's what he said. So Otha thought that I'm gonna pay him $10 tomorrow. He's gonna say we great. It got to be something I can do at this point. That y'all let this type of stuff take place. Woman of Progress. John Horn left tip. You don't know how much we only talk about. We're going to stick to who we are. John Horn left early at the Women's for Progress Roundtable. That's where we were. He left early so he would not have to debate former Mayor Lumumba. Nobody said anything. They allowed it. Me and a young man went in the parking lot, ran up on the car and spoke to him and his wife and said, why are you all leaving? So if you wonder if it happened, it happened.
Seen that nigga face.
Damn it. Should have told that story on 90.1 with the young man here. But yeah, no, he's responding to the way he was treated. I co-sign what he says because what you don't understand is how Mayor Horn responded to him. So when I co-sign it's because that's the right response. Attitude reflects leadership. And when leadership disrespects the city as much as it's done, and that wasn't even when he was in office, that's when he was running. Now all you older Negroes are crying, talking about you can't reach him on the phone, but your picture's posted on there with him. He used Women of Progress. He used you. He used all of these different factions. And now you're talking about you can't get to him. Now people are talking about well, why would people think John could do that? Because Otha Kane is all over the place saying that he could, saying Kane Ditto's good. I'll leave alone the people you talked about in the black community. That's not in my place right now. We'll talk about that if you do something like Kane Ditto did. Try to draw that money outside of the black community. Please understand. He talked about a few people on it. That's not my job to talk about our people. That's our family. We'll work that out ourselves. But when you work with them to extract the money from here, you're not our family anymore. You'll hear Gibbs' name because he involved with that trucking situation with Waste Management. If you go pick Waste Management, who builds jails and tries to put my 3 sons and create laws to put my 3 sons in jail, if you're going to push for them over a black company from, I don't care if they're from Pittsburgh or from New Orleans, if you're going to put them up, we're going to say your name every damn time because you don't love black people. You don't love black people. You know how many people I can continue to work for and make good money if I just accept their practices? So you got trucks that you can make money off of from an organization called Waste Management where BlackRock and Vanguard own them. And you just good doing that, even if it means getting everybody thrown out of office and everything. You just don't care. Yeah, you got to call them type of folks out. You can't. So this is how it happens. We're going to walk you through the big plan. That's why everything we're alluding to, we showed you LaFleur's bluff. And now we know Leland Speed is involved. His son is over there maintaining what he started. And you talk about former mayor? These are how, and then the ignorant Madison residents that keep jumping online and saying things like, well, you all discriminated against white contractors. You all, man, shut up. Go to another platform. I'll be hiding everything y'all say. It's me. It ain't anything. I mean, it's me. Ew. Get off my platform. We don't even care what you think. Black, white alike, no color. If you come on with that garbage and crying, and if you want to come on our platform, first you just give 1/4 of what the state has stolen from us. You want to be honest on that, we can keep talking, right?
Let me correct myself. Leland Speed was the mayor from 1945 to 1945.
Woo! He was a mayor when he could do what they wanted to do to us.
And you make deals with him, John.
Some of you old black men are still scared to say it and to speak up, and the other ones they're just capitalizing off it. And John, you making deals with him. And Otha, you rubber stamped him. So if you ever want to know who rubber stamped Kane Ditto when the city was wondering why we were letting him back in, Because he left office, drained the city through Downtown Jackson Partners in the State Street Group, drained the city with them for a while, and then came back in under John Horn. John bought them all back. But then again, John was there with them in 96 when the business improvement districts were first bought in, wasn't he? The same business improvement district that the federal government said, Mississippi, you can't do that unless it's right. We know what you like to do with your black population when it comes to votes and things like that.
Yep.
Sister Hurricane told you John wasn't nothing, you didn't believe it. Charles Tisdale told you that John's work was deadly and sued, you didn't believe it.
Oh man, I just found something.
And what is the advocate saying today? Because that's who the voice was then.
These Negroes got that. Leland Speed was his father.
Mm-hmm.
Leland R. Speed, that's the one that was with John Horn. And Warren Speed is the one. These niggas got history. The Speeds got history.
And guess what? Guess what we'll bring out? The history is clear. Let's bring out who they have the history of working with. We're going to purge you. We're going to make you better. Because at this point, you won't give anything to the people. So we're going to purge you and help you. We're going to help you with your truthfulness. We started, but we'll go anywhere we need to go, right? We're here with Oath of Cain, helping him be truthful about rubber stamping Cain Ditto when everything you said about Cain in that post is garbage. Cain is not in this city because he feels good about us. He's not in this city. He never said that. A house Negro will tell you what he didn't even say. Hold on a second. The boss said he really likes you. Boss back like, I don't like them Negroes. What you saying that for? No, they never said that. Cain Ditto never said, I love Jackson. I'm here from a non-selfish place. He sits on the board of Downtown Jackson Partners. Cain Ditto opened the door for Capital Care Inc. to come in, and Cain Ditto was part of Charles Tisdale's, rest in peace, lawsuit that said the city council and Mayor Cain Ditto are siphoning our money to Downtown Jackson Partners. Now, they were doing it openly then. Why do you think them calls aren't coming in? Why do you think nobody's saying cease and desist? No, they weren't. Yes, they were. And these Negroes working with him is who you got to look at. It can't just be John all the time. I'm going to hold you accountable, but John, I'm also be your biggest protector. Let's trash him first. But who we going to put up there with him? It can't just be John. Couldn't have done it himself for 30 years. Come on, Hillman Frazier, talk to us. You can help us or you can be there. We don't give you a choice. We didn't get a choice before. We just shake you. We're going to shake you on screen before we take you. Call us. All of you politicians that's been there over the last 30 years, call us and tell us what you think happened before we start putting it together ourselves. We start putting it together ourselves and we determine who was where, because the thing is, KP, when we put it together, we don't guess. We feel bad if it hits you. So when we say John ran from the Woman of Progress meeting and they let him go, yeah, I mean, we're not. No. It's not. Anyway, it's going to be proof. You're going to see the Woman of Progress, him leaving early. You're going to see the Woman of Progress boasting about giving them $15,000 and calling their AKA friends and calling their Jacko friends to big up for John. Don't run from it now. Otha, you switched over and you were supporting Mayor Lumumba because you realized that's what you said then. I realized that the city is going bad and I don't want it to go here and I care for the city. And somebody, I don't know what happened, who offered you, I don't know what changed, but next thing you know, you in a 2-year-old's chair in a school in Jackson talking to a tipsy Stokes talking about it was Lumumba's fault. Then you rubber stamping Cain Ditto. What is happening to us? I said that the man Horn had us. Now you got everybody shaking their booty for money. And then Horn, stop it. If you want to get the money, please reach out and tell them to stop booty shaking because we're sick of it. We're sick of it, man, and it is what it is. And that's why these men don't say nothing when I come in and say they're out there twerking. They don't say nothing because they are twerking. I'm a grown man, and if my hips are gyrating, my back is bent, and my butt's popping up and down, I'm not going to get mad at you for saying I'm twerking. If I tell you today that it's Tuesday that I like the Raiders, Wednesday I like the Chargers, Thursday I like the Celtics, and I done jumped a whole nother sport, then I like the Red Sox, guess what? I'm a flop man. I'm just one you can't trust. I'm going to admit that. Otha just say, okay, you probably don't want to listen to what I have to say today because what day is it? May not be that tomorrow. And let's still try to love each other. Get better, brother. Get better. I get called out on a regular basis. They just call me out inside the store. Well, brother, you think you can say this a little nicer? And sometimes I can. I come back to y'all the next day and you don't know where it came from. It's real. A brother, a sister, an elder stopped me in the store and said, maybe you ain't got to go like that. Just say it like this. And I come back and I be like, y'all, I don't have to say it that way. We got to get better together.
Why am I never in the store when that
Yeah, I mean, you know, it doesn't happen that often. Sometimes I big it up just to make you feel better. Sometimes when you put it on people, KP, you gotta be with it. Misery loves company, and some of these niggas are miserable. And I want you to come back to the good side, right? That's why I talk about you, city council, right? That's why I talk about you. And now you see this. I just jump around with them sometimes because it's just so much we talk about when we're planning. But it's just that people, to KP's point, he said Leland's. He's telling you about 3 generations of people put into place. You see Haley Barber's folks with laundromats, right? Folks just put. You see the Gibbs, right? Succession. That's all it is. You notice I don't talk about people. I just say what it is. And if it's good, the good will show. If a parent was in there and then a child's in there, guess what? That should be 60 years of you either helping black people or not helping black people. And I'm not talking about jumping in there and talking about something. I worry about the inmates. And people say to me, Justice Gibbs, I saw that. He actually said he worried about the inmates and people question him sometimes. He said, I see people jumping in my inbox saying, why do you care about inmates? You don't. You don't do anything like legislatively for inmates inside Parchman. You don't try to stop when they're sending pictures out to people you know. We getting the pictures. The nonprofit community getting the pictures. Why are you making that up? Yeah, I mean, that's the younger Gibbs. He said on there, I see you all. And what it is, it's marketing. So it's almost like if KP says, man, I see y'all looking at my chain and you're really not looking at it. He's trying to garner up that attention. I know he's going to take that. He's trying to garner up the attention for you to look at his chain. I'm using it as an example. He's trying to garner the attention for you to look at his chain so you'll look at it. So Gibbs is trying to get you to look at something he's just not doing at all. So when he says to you, I see y'all in my inbox, this is what he said. I see you all in my inbox talking about, don't worry about that. They're rapists and murderers. Ain't nobody in your inbox worried about what you're doing for prisoners because you're not doing anything. I'm going to call it stop doing that. If you think I'm picking on someone, tell them to be quiet. Because I can only speak when you say something crazy. Like stand up in the middle of the city council meeting after Ted Hennepin said black people don't pay their bills and be like, what he say?
He said, I didn't vote for it and I voted against it. But I was going to recap off that and say, Justice Gibbs saying, he's saying that he's not going to do nothing for prisoners.
No, he's saying he's helping the prisoners so much. He can Mississippi Impact Coalition, where you at? He's saying he's helping the prisoners so much. He's getting hate mail on his inbox saying, leave those murderers alone and come help us. Parchman, what are you getting from? Maybe I'm missing it. I'm talking to Mississippi Impact Coalition too much. I'm not looking at what you're doing, Brother Gibbs, because I didn't know that that's where the movement was.
My homie called me from Parchman right now and tell
Minaj,
if I ask him, he knows
inbox me. Let me know if that's what's happening. I don't know. I'm saying, let's go. Let me know if that's what's happening. I didn't know that that's what was popping. I didn't know that Gibbs was the leader in fighting against Parchman and fighting against Mississippi penal system, letting people die, Vital Corp's taking hundreds of millions and not giving not an ounce of care, folks dropping out of bunk beds and dying from a broken arm, quote unquote. You got Burl Kane over there acting like he's in an Okie-doke Wild West, and you have no accountability whatsoever. Becky Curry has done more than I've seen you do, and I don't think she's done anything. Sorry, Miss Curry, but to me, when you go to the river after all the water's gone and see what you can do to help put water in it, you just come in to do that. You just want to be seen. So Miss Becky want to be seeing Curry at least put stuff out there. The rest of y'all just disappear. So I'm very shocked that Gibbs said he's doing so much, and I'm waiting for Mississippi Impact Coalition or any other group to reach out and co-sign that. Tell me I'm waiting for Minaj. Minaj's going to hit me and be like, yeah, they do. And I'm going to come right back on and apologize to you. But I'm going to have a list of all the things they did with Mississippi Impact Coalition.
Why they ain't saying nothing?
I don't think they did anything for you to be calling folks out. Yeah, I'm saying that we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But it's just as he said, watch these folks coming in. And Leland's feed, just like he's saying, the Barbers going to that, but also look at who their friends are. Because downtown Jackson partners couldn't have happened without Mayor Horn.
Yeah,
that's why they're friends together.
The Speeds have history with Horn.
This is one big thing, and Mayor John Horn's name is there. And guess what else? Coaches, politicians, all in them pictures with John Horn smiling. You all gonna own it with him. This ain't his the whole. One man, we're not that weak as a people. One man can't take a city. No, sir. He had a lot of help. Otha can't hold that by himself. He gonna hold his part. Leroy Brown can't hold it by himself. The other 99 black men in shut mouth while Chief Willie accomplishments were stolen by John Horn in Local 1807. Do you realize the gravity of that? Local 1807 was racist against those black men and 100 black men, a lot of their daddies. For them to shut their mouths while Local 1807 and Captain Rashawn claim their own member, Willie Horn's accomplishments. What the? Are you talking about just gummy? It's like a string of backs. Someone's just playing their backs like xylophones, just me spines. You can just run down the line of all these black men. That's how it sounds. It sounds like something else. And I'm not even gonna say that because that's disrespectful. And I'm not petty. It sounds like another body part, just not on us. And that's what these men sound like. Just flipping lips, just running down, just running your hand over. Let's let and sit there. That's what you have leading you. And you know why I say that? Because who was the last person that John Horn had to go through? Who was the last person that John Horn had to run through? Who was the last person that John Horn had to run through in Jackson before Downtown Jackson Partners was locked in? And let me tell you, I wish one of you sisters from Jackson, Downtown Jackson Incorporated, or brothers, even if you were a secretary or help, I know a lot of us aren't here yet. I know some have passed away. But if anybody is still there from Downtown Jackson Incorporated, right? I wish you would give us a call, and I wish you would talk about the fact that we had a whole committee that looks just like Downtown Jackson Partners that was taken over. Ben Allen, we're gonna have series in this. But they pushed the black people out and took it over with rich, white, affluent people in called Downtown Jackson. I mean, what do you think, man? Just pull it all together for me, KB. What are you seeing? I mean, you grew up watching this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they also created East Oak subdivision.
That's right. And what a lot of people don't understand is that
Eastover, dog.
They were also, so you had, this is the picture that I'm gonna paint for you. And the documentary we put up will finish it because you gotta be prepared to one. You had Ashby Foote here in Ward 1. You had Virgie Lindsay in Ward 7. And the ball called Jackson's Money was being thrown back and forth in the air between them. And when any mayor came close enough to jump up and grab that ball, you had city council members that would pull them back down. Virgie Lindsay is as responsible for the state of Jackson as John. Virgie Lindsay was as destructive, if not more, to the city of Jackson's autonomy as a black city and to losing funds as anybody in the city of Jackson, except John Horn. She played a part. John was the driver. And we're going to explain it to you. But Virgie Lindsay followed behind the Business Improvement District and created a Business Improvement District in Fondren and in Belhaven. And then helped connect that to what you know as CCID.
Ooh.
This was all part of the same plan from Dale Danks. CCID was just a completion of Dale Danks' Blue Ribbon Committee's goal.
Before I start off at CCI.
That's right.
Dang.
Capital Care Incorporated. Dale Danks started this, and he wasn't the one at the root of it. He was the mayor of Jackson when they realized these Negroes about to take over. Just like Dr. King's March on DC. Since we can't take it over, let's put our own man in there. I can't take it over because I didn't start it, remember? So let me put my own speech in there. Here, Dr. King, here's the speech you want to say. I can't stop you because I didn't start this, so let me tell you what to say. So you started as Blue Ribbon Committee with the goal of making Jackson rise again. They sat down there in Madison and drank coffee and talked about, boy, they got us. We got 3 blacks on the city council since 88. We got 3 blacks on the city council. You know it's just a matter of time for these Negroes take mayor. And when they take mayor, they're going to be able to affect the permits and they're going to be able to affect everything. We overseas fighting for justice. We can't keep beating these Negroes over the head, not on TV. And guess what? It's 42 million Negroes. There's only 2 in jail. We're not locking enough up. We need a good Negro to do this with. What did our brother Malcolm X said? They send one of your leaders in there to make you suffer peacefully. John Horn. Peacefully. You thought Virgie Lindsay was one of yours. Peacefully. Sister Hurricane told you until she passed away. Unpeacefully. That John Horn was doing something. Brother Charles Tisdale died with a lawsuit being a legacy against Mayor Kane Ditto. John Horn, you disrespectful bastard. You bring him into your, that's how we talk on this. This station is to talk about what's really happening. You disrespectful bastard. And usually bastard assault your father. He needs to feel that if he raised you to be like that. Yes, sir. You hurt too many people for gloves to be on. And you doing it actively. This year 1. Brother, we taking everything off. Cut him. Leave him open. Hope the buzz take him away. Because what are you going to do the next 3 years? Good Lord. Good God. If you've given this much away year one, now he got to come for you. He gonna need your babies next. He done take the 14 and 17s and sold them off. Come Herm! They're on the block. What is he gonna come for next? He already started pushing you all in together. They talk about closing Rebelwood, closing this. Where you think them people are going? They're gonna push everybody together, make a new Black Jackson, just like they're making a new white one. Gabriel Prado's sitting up there building up. Angry because we're talking about you, Gabriel. You have lost your damn mind, Daniel Prado. Running up on people in the car. You lucky I was alone. Thank God, because I keep these young people where they need to be. Because there's some young people that would have not taken privy to you in some damn slides running up to people's cars. Yeah, I would have loved to. I just have to be the example I want them to see. I've got to be the example I want them to see because John Horn, Crudup, Gibbs, Hillman Frazier, they're not being the example I need to see. Thank God for Qasim Abdul-Tawwab. Went to Morehouse, went to Lincoln, passed up a full ride to Brown so he could work for his community. That's my daddy. My mother was a Golden Apple Award winning teacher that worked in her community. That's what I grew up seeing. So you shake and bake, ride-by-night Negroes, weak back, oath of Cain. Y'all are disgusting, and you shouldn't have tried to get a platform for it. Not while I'm here, because you can do everything to me. I don't have the money. I'm not taking what y'all taking. You must be taking something. It could be a pill. It could be something else. Could be money. But when you have a Negro that you allow to legitimize Cain Ditto after Charles Tisdale is dead in his grave after having sued Cain Ditto, and Cain Ditto kept doing the same thing from when Charles Tisdale died till now, this man been with Downtown Jackson, partner, dancing on that Negro's grave and getting money out of Jackson. Say what? Oh, I thought you said something. That's that Kanye line. Hold up. You can't tell me nothing.
Nuh-uh. You can't tell me.
You got to understand that's where we're at. And the people are feeling it because they felt it. 30 years. Now he's understanding why his mother may have struggled here, worked here, but wanted that job. His uncle worked, may have got locked up. Now he understands it. What you think he's getting? You think he's just talking gossip? You think these people in the streets are talking? No, sir. No, senor. Virgie Lindsay said when she wanted to make a business improvement district in Fonda to make sure you Negroes ain't get a piece of that, she said the business district is exactly like Downtown Jackson, partners. It's only the second one in Mississippi. They bragging about what they did to you. Y'all couldn't do this to your Negroes. We did it to ours. Let me see you, Atlanta, Georgia. Can you do it to your Negroes? You know they got that face-off like pinballs, right? Where they see who's the best, meanest person to the niggas. That's their thing. Mississippi's always won that battle. Now Downtown Jackson, partners, bragging.
Cain Ditto.
Can you do that to your Negroes? Said Cain Ditto. Go look at John Horn's inauguration. It's gonna be on the documentary. Oh, he sat right next to Tate, sat right next to Holzman. They were kikiing on. They were like, "We in the money, we in the money."
Bulletproof vest around this month.
Man, no sir, because they done transgress against God way too much for me to need a vest. God will take that thing and spin it right back at you, and I believe that. You dirty sons of guns. I'm clean around you all. Take me around people I've hurt, right, or things that I've actually done wrong. Oh, yeah. Like my wife mad at me, I wear bulletproof, but the rest of y'all, please, please. I think God will watch over me until it's time. And sometimes it's time. Man, longevity has its place, but so doesn't the willingness to not love life enough to let people walk over you. Yeah. I'll never lie to you and say I don't want to see my daughter. My daughter's 5. I definitely want to see her grow up. But I won't let you step on people's face to do that. That's all I'm saying. Not going to let you continue to hurt people, John Horn, from 1996. You made everything that's happening to us possible. Now we know why you didn't speak up when Lumumba was locked up. That would have messed your plans up. Lumumba, and I'm talking about rest in peace, the older Lumumba, messed your plans up.
You remember you said that he also spoke up when Charles Tisdale filed that lawsuit.
Yeah.
Big Chokwe said
Big Chokwe said that he said that Downtown Jackson Partners essentially was using their access to take his people's stuff. Yeah. And he wasn't the only one. I'm like, you think just like I think, because I'm sitting up there looking for the second clip now, and we have so much that we look at here. You all would not understand. And now on this clip, and then you look at who supported him. So if you look at these things, it's talking about the Matisse Company. These are all the people that funded, because Downtown Jackson Partners basically funded John 4 times the way I look at it. Why did they want him in office? We ain't gonna give you the whole documentary here. I'll tell you why they wanted it, because John been doing this since the 90s. He's a hip hop killer. He been smoking Jackson and using black money since the 90s. Take the stuff he says and flip it backwards. One of the things he brags is, I've stimulated over $1 billion into Jackson's economy. Yes, he has. For who? $1 billion. So the sponsors that were at the one part, we were looking at this party where they raised almost $500 million, right? That was that article. You remember? Everybody loves John. And the final tally was almost $500,000. Matisse Company was there. You remember Andrew Matisse is the one that banked Tim Henderson. Listen, you got to know what's popping. And Matisse been around. That family been around for a while. White man behind Tim Henderson. So don't think Tim was moving for himself. I know y'all love me at a deep voice. He's military. He wasn't talking for himself. He was talking for Andrew Matisse, who had money and business here. So boy, do what I say. Come on now. I ain't nobody's boy. I die a man. But Tim Henderson was Andrew Matisse's boy. Man, listen, we're going to give it to you like it is. Don't get mad. Go disprove it. Don Horn is Jeff Good's boy and all of Downtown Jackson Boys' boy. There's and everyone other than probably Socrates, and it's like, that's his station. No, everyone knows he's a businessman. He goes for his. He's a businessman. He was the president of the Chamber of Commerce. That's not someone else's boy. That's you wanting to be in that position. But everyone knows all them other Negroes that ran with someone else's boy. You got 20 people running to try to knock him out. Yo, all someone's boy because they told you to run and you had no chance of winning. Every black man that ran with no chance of winning that didn't have a history of doing that, they were someone's boy. So now you someone's boy, and now you running. So Matisse, Andrew Matisse, that was Tim Henderson's owner when he ran. Okay, I never ran under nobody. So if you ain't never get it done to you, then nobody can call you their boy. You did, so that's your man. Why a white man gonna give me to run in Jackson, Mississippi? I'm not running for myself. Come on, man. Just think about that. If that's not their boy, I'm not talking about nobody. I'm putting it there. So Tim Henderson probably called out because he asked me, let me stick my finger or something while I'm doing it too. And Tim was like, I'm not gonna do that. I just said I'd run for mayor. And if you think I'm being facetious, I'm not. These are the things that people are under, right? Jeff Good, we call him Curious George because he's always around Jeff. Yeah, oh, wonderful. We call him Curious George because he's always around Jeff. He talks about it, right? And let me let you see it too.
I don't think I ever said it. I work for Jeff Good, one of his restaurants.
And one of our engineers did.
And one of our engineers work for him. Guess what? He treats them like
he treats black people horrible. I mentored young men, and when I first came down, it was I'm talking about. He's not the only one. Young men would leave there and say, Mr. Tariq, I'd rather just go back to DY, go back to Henley. What do you mean? That's crazy. Man, he in there talking about he racist. How does a 16-year-old that's just wilding out understand racism that deep unless it's overt, right? But Jeff Good, a local restaurateur, budgeted $320,000 for Horn, and then said Horn could use any leftover funds for any future events. So while Horn shutting down stuff, he got back. Because the people donating to him said that once they finished using it, they could do it. But what was he like? I mean, yeah, let's talk about it. This is our time. What was he? I mean, was he just giving? I know that they said all the black people in the back of the house. These are the people that told me that.
He was very aggressive towards mainly the black workers. He would come towards them more aggressive than he would greet the white ones first, then he'll make sure the black ones were working.
Oh,
so it was one day I was in there working, and he was greeting the white people, and I was just standing around looking, and I already got done busting down the tables, so I did my job already. And I was one of his new workers, so he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Jeff Good. I need you to work around the whole building." I'm like, "Then what happened to the handshake? What happened to all the
nothing?
None of that. I just need you to go work around the whole building." I'm like, and then my manager, she was a white lady. Shout out to Katie. She was like, he always does this to y'all. I'm like, "What you mean, y'all?
Yo.
What you mean?" Well, the workers. Nah, what you mean, y'all? And she tried to double down on. I'm like, okay, I've been in politics long enough to know what you mean. You ain't got to tell me. I just want to see what you're gonna say.
You just want to see if you're gonna stand up.
Yeah. So,
but that would seem like so. Jeff, just like when the young man, boy, I get locked. He was our boy, our homeboy, but the young man died when he passed away. And we were trying to get information from folks that worked there, and they were just very, very, very anti, and it was very strange because it's the same crowd that we were talking to. But so Jeff Good, the way this is what he said about Horn once. He was saying he was standing with Torn. He said Horn was trained up well. He actually said this. I got to find that. They were in front of the mayor's office before Horn became mayor, and he said to his people, "This one's trained up well." He was trying to explain to them Horn is going to do the right thing, no matter whether the Southern Christian Leadership Conference is against it or whether you're against it. Horn's been doing it since the 90s. So what we were talking about when we say Miss Hurricane, we kept saying that because we respected her in her passing with that name, because the Miss Hurricane, it was given to her because the fire she bought as a member of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to racial issues. We're talking Stephanie Parker Weaver. That's who we're talking about. Stephanie Parker Weaver. Y'all remember her? So maybe you don't want to hear from us about what Mayor Horn is doing. Let's talk then Senator Horn and the SCLC and Miss Hurricane, aka Stephanie Parker Weaver, right? Who she was the executive secretary of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference at the time. One of the most vocal opponents of the BID process John Horn and them were doing. Y'all remember this? You know it. You know why no one in your community say anything? Because they were down with it. If they know about it and they weren't against it then, Charles Tisdale was against it. Folks like that.
Chokwe was against
Chokwe was against it. Big Chokwe, Mayor Chokwe, rest in peace. Stephanie Parker Weaver, who was the executive secretary of the SCLC, was against it. Guess who was for it? I always forget the name. I always do. I always forget the name. That man that was caught up. I'll tell you what's for. I don't got to remember his name. Retro Metro. David Hawkins, I believe. David Hawkins was the one put in cuffs because of stealing money from the city of Jackson through stealing money from the Metro Center, Retro Metro, right? You remember. I think he rode with Joe Gibbs and they had something going on together with Parish Street. I know they did. So he was for it. Tisdale was against it. Lumumba was against it. You know who else was against it when Virgie Lindsay did it? Because remember I told you Virgie Lindsay did it too. We're going to say all the players. The white state of Mississippi establishment, Virgie Lindsay has been a watchdog for the state of Mississippi since the day she took office. Ashby Foote has been a watchdog for the state of Mississippi from the day he took office. And John Horn has been an agent for the, you know what, I'm not going to say that because I don't know if it's for his own self. He's been a factor that has worked for the state of Mississippi's interests ever since he took office. Because this bid process is 1996 we're talking about. So anyways, he puts it forward. They do it. Stephanie Parker Weaver and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference all said this. This is what they said about Downtown Jackson Partners. This is who Downtown Jackson Partners is. This is who John Horn bought in. And then we're going to tell you the black people, you should pull up Downtown Jackson Partners. So by the time I finish this, you can tell them the black men on his team and in the city that are part of Downtown Jackson Partners. So the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, that's just Dr. King. That's just Abernathy. That's just some giants that were, but okay. So they claimed this. Downtown Jackson Partner, which was known as CCI at the time, Capital Care Incorporated. This is what we said about them. They claimed they were going to be the cheerleaders for downtown and bring in business and establish a security force of a boundary of a 64-block area, Parker Weaver said. The Downtown Jackson Inc., which was the rightful black and white Jacksonian organization of downtown that should have taken place if any bid was there, right? The Downtown Jackson Inc. was a vision of bipartisan groups of individuals who wanted to see downtown grow. But the greed factor of what is now Downtown Jackson Partners took over. They basically kicked out coalition members under Downtown Jackson Incorporated to form their own little clique of property owners who were primarily wealthy and white. In 1996, after John Horn helped them do that, what? Jackson Advocate publisher Charles Tisdale, these type of men don't exist, not even at the Advocate right now, right? Because everyone supported John Horn. You think if Tisdale paused, you think if Tisdale knew, John had Ditto on his entrepreneurial team off the rip. So Tisdale's looking down from his grave saying, Advocate, I'm ready for that next article. Now he know what they did. I'm ready for that next article. Because John Horn facilitated all of the damage that made Charles Tisdale, rest in peace, sue Kane Ditto. You think he sued Kane Ditto for his newspaper to sit quiet while John Horn brings Kane Ditto back on? Man, please, Negro, that's a house Negro if that happens.
You ready for the numbers?
That's a house Negro if that happened. And let's talk about, hold on. So this is what they said. So then he filed a suit. Let me tell you who the esteemed Mr. Tisdale filed a suit against. And if the Advocate doesn't follow up, in memory of Charles Tisdale and light them up, Mayor Horn up, for bringing Kane Ditto over without discussing Kane Ditto's assault on the city with CCI, aka Downtown Jackson Partners. So much to the point that Charles Tisdale sued them. The Advocate better speak up, and I know they will.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who's down with downtown. You down with OPP? You down with DJP?
DJP.
Who's down? You down with
Yeah, you know
DJP?
me.
Yeah. Let's see who's down with DJP right now.
All right.
Now we know how dirty they are.
Ding, 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 we
And now we know that about CCI. They can't say that's not us. That was before you change your name, mister. When you were CCI or when you were Blue. Come on, tell us who's on there now.
Man, we got first up, we got Ronnie Crudup, serves as the board chair. He is also the pastor of New Horizon Church International.
Shout out New Horizon.
We got
That's what you got.
Ricky Thigpen, a board member representing Visit
No,
Jackson.
he's not in the city, is he? He used to be.
You sure?
Yeah, that's an old one.
It says as of May 2026.
Yeah, but he don't work for the city.
Oh,
Does he?
shit.
Hold on.
It says he's active in civic groups.
He's representing Visit Jackson.
like,
Read them all. What am I
Okay.
talking about? Read them all.
He's active.
getting honorable
he's
mention,
active
Ricky, my
in
bad.
civic groups like 100 Black Men of Jackson Incorporated.
Yeah, and the only reason you're silly is because of the people that are there quietly while one of your members gets attacked. The group 100 Black Men was built on shoulders of men that had a much different idea, and some of you all claim to have that idea. I support that silly statement. You are silly when you let one of your members get trampled over like that and you sit by quietly. Who else is on there?
Philip Rollins, a board member of owner of Off Being Alternative Culture Store in downtown Jackson.
You shopping there? Go ahead.
Michael Booker, a board member representing Candace Bank. Oh, here go the haymaker right here. Robert Gibbs
Then he's on there now.
serves as a board counselor and as a partner at Gibbs with their PL.
And he's also on Mayor Horn's transitional team.
Yeah. That's it.
So now you have a little more because the site gives more. So now I'm gonna go. You tell me if we missed any. You said Ronnie Crudup, right? He's his chair. And we're talking about people that are actively active in the city under Horn's administration and active with the organization that shut down Sister Hurricane, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and the Downtown Jackson Incorporated. You Negroes didn't get away with it. Big up to my ancestors in their grave who went to their grave mad. I'm talking about the ones from Downtown Jackson Incorporated, mad because that was robbed from them. Guess what? Look down, sister and brother. We holding them, we putting their feet to the fire, right? So right now, the group that knocked y'all out, Ronnie Crudup's on it. I'm gonna talk to the ancestors. So the group that took y'all out for wealthy white people, Ronnie Crudup's now on it. Let me tell you who else is on it. Hold on. Robert Gibbs. Hold on. We're gonna tell them everybody. Peter Terwoosen. Hold on. Let's see. Is that it? That may be it. No. Kane Diddle. Yes. The same Kane Diddle was stealing money from you all when as black people you just had to take it. John Horn bought him on. Hey, Charles Hawthorne up there. Peace, my brother. Remember Surinder Singh that said your life wasn't worth but a six-pack? John Horn bought him on. Yeah, and I'm real with that. I'm shouting up to them and let them know what you did, John. You're a disgusting piece of garbage with this floor. Surinder Singh. I just went everywhere at that point. Let's go on and tag everything. I let him know. I mean, I was talking to the ancestors. Brother Charles is up there. Yeah, Brother Charles, the one at the Indian store owner walked up behind him and shot him in the back of his head over a six-pack of beer. Because y'all don't make enough money, huh? And then Surinder Singh stood on it and stood next to John Horn on election day. You Negroes accept anything, some of you. You telling me these Indian store owners make so little, you had to shoot that boy over a six-pack of beer and you selling chips for $7 a bag? Make it make sense. You selling Khartoum, you can sell everything here. And the Indians own stores here. Maybe they're under the name Patel in the Madison stores, and maybe they're under the name Surinder Singh here, but they don't have them things in their Madison stores. There's a bathroom to use there, but go check their records, see what store makes them more money. Guarantee you Jackson does. Stop playing with people. In Madison, you can sell gas and lotto tickets and maybe some cigarettes and a little bit of snuff. In Jackson, you can sell fake weed, cartoon, condom, shit to make stuff to make your genitals hard. You can sell baby powder. You can sell little baggies to put drugs in. You can sell stuff to cut drugs with. You can sell pickle juice. You can sell the stuff you make at home and we don't even know what's in it. It just got your dang store name on it. You can sell whatever you want out of there. And you can actually let them sell drugs out the back of your store and charge a cut for that. And we all know that if you're in India, you're a lot closer to opium than Negroes in West Jackson are. Oh, you don't want to talk about that, though. Geographically, you're a lot closer to the drugs that are being sold than we are.
Yeah,
we in West Jackson. What we going to do? Grow an opium field in our backyard? Grow some meth, right? What we going to do? Now, you, on the other hand, come from a whole nother country. You have a whole nother shipping line. But you don't see none of these black coon leaders talking about why are they letting so many people there? When the city council asked the Indian Store Owners Association to provide security, they said, we got security. It's called JPD. Why the hell you think we came to Jackson? To use up y'all's money. We live in Madison. Our kids go to school at private white institutions. The Patels will never be around you, all the things. Yeah.
Stole by 90.1.
Yeah.
What is Robertson?
We'll come to extract your money out of there, and we'll set up a process where we'll let Indians come from India and work 24 hours in our store, live and sleep in there, because you can smell any kind of way with these people. We can keep it anyway. You don't have to worry about that.
All the police in the blood.
And then they asked them, are they all even gangbanging? No. It's a small percentage that actually involved in that. The rest of them, this is the only place they have to shop. They ain't got no heart. They know that. The majority of you to go in that store, you have to go in there. You didn't cause that
Is
condition.
that Parkinson?
Kevin Parkinson's on it.
Motherfucker.
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't finish reading the Downtown Jackson Partners. Let's pick up from Tier Woosen.
You on the website.
Kevin, yeah, that's where you got to go. Their website, because that's what they're proud of. So Kevin Parkinson. Now, Kevin Parkinson is very important. He smiles a lot like Virgil Lindsay did. Don't you realize? Ashby Foote is the bad cop. Virgil Lindsay was the good cop. Parkinson slid right into that spot. One of the requirements of being a Fondren councilman that's white is you've got to smile when you're outside. Now, catch him not smiling, and I'll say I'm wrong. Get a picture of it, send it to us. We got at least 17 in a row. That's a trend. Give me 17. You got to smile. Virgil Lindsay didn't smile, but she was a woman and she was softer with it, right? And when she didn't smile, it's because she was tired, because these Negroes have me working up there with them. You see Stokes in them. I'm tired now. She smiled till she was tired of the Negroes. And the whole time, she was the number one gunner. Virgil Lindsay has helped the state and businesses extract more from Jackson than anyone except John Horn.
Remember the day we was in the city council, she tried to shut you up.
She was in Pearl, yeah. We didn't understand the redistricting. Thank you. Boy, let me tell you this, young man. So, remember I kept talking to you about the redistricting, and we were talking about they redistrict, and Hartley lost. He got more poor people that he didn't want, and he thought he was going to get some of the capital, and Stokes got Wood Street, which is why you saw him able to change the name, Lily Street, which is why you saw him able to change the name. When them shifts happened, even I wasn't up to par, and I apologize to you. Even I didn't realize why Virgil Lindsay was fighting so hard to control that redistricting, and why Aaron Banks submitted it and Hartley went along with it. Because Downtown Jackson Partners would have been broken up if the redistricting didn't go the way Virgil Lindsay wanted it. Miss Lindsay, you can send the cease and desist to make it make sense, Jackson, if it comes. We all know it won't, because what you did is not illegal, so we're going to talk about it. You wanted to make sure, because you went, we're going to put that your interview up, where when you were asked, why are you fighting this redistricting so hard? She said, Downtown Jackson Partners does not want to be split up. What that really says is, y'all ready for this? Downtown Jackson Partners does not want to be under a Negro councilman. Oh, you thought we was here for the low game. Downtown Jackson Partners will be in Ward 7 under a white councilman, and that's the way it will be. Downtown Jackson Partners told Virgie, redistrict, do whatever you have to do. Don't you put us under no Negro. But it's Hartley. He was in the military. He's not. I know he wants to be us. This is what they said. I'm not egregious. This is what they said. I know Hartley wants to be us. And Hartley, you did it to yourself. When the first thing you did when looking for a police chief was said, we got to show the white people that we know how to control ourselves, you did it to yourself. That's what you said. And that's how they took you. We don't need him. He just wants to be like us. We need all of Downtown Jackson Partners under a white person that's going to smile with tattoos. Kevin, you were the guy. You can prove me wrong any day by doing something different. Don't support Downtown Jackson Partner, since now, Kevin, you know their racist origins. I have a hunch you already knew, but I will give you the benefit of the doubt. You're a young man. Kevin?
Yeah.
He's a young man. I'm 50. He's a young man. Maybe you didn't know about CCI. Maybe you didn't know about Dale Danks and the white business power structure saying to Dale, start this ribbon committee. Maybe you didn't know Kane Ditto got sued by Charles Tisdale because the city council was siphoning money to what's now Downtown Jackson Partners. Maybe you didn't know that. And if you didn't know that, then come on over here with us and we'll sit down there and we'll work with you. Or leave us alone and just do it on your own.
Oh, sure, to the city council, Vernon Hall.
There you go. But if you didn't know that and you were innocent and you're not a placeholder to replace Virgie Lindsay to keep the black city of Jackson under wraps, and you and Foot are going to throw the ball, Foot, don't say so mean, Foot, like you did with Ted Hennepin. I peep your game. Ted Hennepin yelled out, they don't want to play their bills. Here you go. Remember when I said, he said, this is what Parkinson was starting to say. I can understand what you're saying. What do you understand about all black people in Jackson don't like to pay their bill? Tell me what you understand about that, Kevin Parkinson. I'll wait. I'll come down to Lemuel. Tell me what because I'm going to come talk to you afterwards. I don't do this stuff on the back end. We had some coffee and we'll talk about it. I doubt you'll want to talk about it. What do you, so now you know, let's see what happens tomorrow. If Kevin Parkinson steps away from downtown Jackson, partner, because he's working with all these organizations where he's talking about we love people and you're in churches that say we accept everybody and we don't like what Mississippi did to the black people back then. So Kevin, let's see you step away from downtown Jackson, partners. Now you know their racist origins. Let's see if that money beats the bank. And at least if best out of this, we'll make you stop running around with these black people smiling at them if you're not willing to step away from folks hurting them. Bless you. And I'm not saying you won't, because maybe you will. Let's see if Kevin Parkinson stands up and says, now that I understand the origins.
I'm allergic to bullshit.
I know, but this is the wrong show today. This is the wrong show because I didn't pull them all out, KP. Let me go get you some Xanax, some Jackson X. We need some for this. We need some for this because this is the type of show you need because these are your folks doing this. The Otha Canes rubber stamping dittos while Charles Tisdale rolls over in his grave. What do you want to say about it, Otha? Charles sued him saying he was so dirty. And you sitting up here talking about, I believe he loves Jackson so much. You just sit with it. Don't say nothing back. Sit with it. Right? Because you're going against Charles Tisdale, not against Tarek. I didn't say he was dirty. I didn't sue him because he facilitated our money getting drained out. Huh?
Makes sense.
You thought because they was gone, you could do that little worm back stuff and switch. I could be with Lumumba on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'll say it's Lumumba's fault. And on Thursday, John will welcome me with open hands because I'll say everybody he picked. That's what he did. That's what he did. He went and he said, it's Lumumba time. If we let John in, it's over. When John came in, he said, John's picks are wonderful. I like Crudup. I like this is what he said. And the only reason you got to get stamped on there is because you rubber stamp Kane Ditto, who's been one of the most hurtful white men in this city since we've had any freedom. Pick your handler. Pick your handler better.
That's a
Tim picked a little better. At least Tim Henderson picked Andrew Matisse, who he could walk away from clearly. John, whatever he got on you, all these other handlers, whatever they got on you, you can't walk away. Tim walked away. He said, enough. Get your hand off my legal, proverbially speaking, get your hand off my butt. That's what Tim said. I tell it like it is. I tell it like it. I've been there. I've sat in positions. So what I'm saying is real. Get your hand off my butt. You're trying to molest me, proverbially speaking, because you're trying to get me, Tim Henderson, to go be a mouthpiece for you, Andrew Matisse, so that the community can be in a better place for your family to make money. Big up to Tim for not allowing him to grab your butt in that way. And I'm going to keep it that way. You still shouldn't have been in the car with that Negro. What you in the car with him for? Let me be in a car with a prostitute my wife walked by and I talk about I'm trying to help her understand God better. Okay. Can I sleep at your house? Can I sleep at your house, Tim? What was you in the car with Andrew Matisse for, Tim? You all getting hit because you all played with us. Why were you in the car with Andrew Matisse, Tim, in the first place? Thank God you jumped out. My man named like Ricky, Ricky's brother. My Boys in the Hood. You pulled the Boys in the Hood, so good look for that, Tim. You get a shout out for that. John ain't jump out. He holding on. No, Cube, keep going. I want to shoot. He asking to shoot people that ain't even on the plan. Pull over here. Let's get these Negroes. They ain't do nothing to us. I don't care.
Let me out, though.
Let me out, though. That's what Tim said. Shout out, Tim. Let me out. He was crying. Remember that day? He got that look, too, just like Cuba Gooding. No hair on his face. That stoic look. Let me out, John. Let me out, John. Let's put that up there. And John was on wheels. And John's smoking. He got some wet in his mouth. Because if we're going to compare him to the streets, he's smoking wet. I'm talking about that embalming fluid is what John's on. He giving everything away. You want it? He get to him and shoot at him. I say this, pow, pow, pow. Oh, God, John's wild. Get away from him. If he was a gangster, John would be on one right now because he's just doing it all. But Tim said, let me out, John. John was driving the car. Downtown Jackson partner was next to him. And Tim Henderson said, let me out. Let me out. And Matisse tried to grab him. Boy, you mind. He tried to grab him. Tim said, boy, get off me. I'm in the military. I do push it. Now you push your chest out. You should have pushed your chest out when that white man came and used you. Because he used you to kick Lumumba out so they can get what they got now. So you going to own that, Tim. You got used. Be better next time, brother. You jumped ship, but the damage was already done, brother. 20 people running against the mayor. Now they put in charge. Everything looked the same, and now our city's gone. You helped facilitate that. All of y'all that ran for no reason, knowing you couldn't win. Some of you thought you could win, rightfully. The mayor was in trouble, and y'all jumped up there. Some of you black folk thought you could win. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. You know who you are. Someone called you, hey, you ever thought about running? I'm talking about you. A month before, and your silly ass running. Are you stupid? You ain't said nothing to your people around you. I'm saying this for your people so they start knowing what you are. Because this is something that business teaches you. When you find one of your employees stealing from you, this is the rule. If they stole from you in one place, they're stealing from you somewhere else. It's a guarantee. Now let's apply that community. Oath of Cain, right? Cain ditto. You tag them with the line they came with. Now, Oath and Cain got two different lines. I'm not doing that to the brother. But when you stamp a Cain ditto, you're a house nigger at that point. Best. And you should be thankful for that title when you came. See, I know what ditto's about.
Oh, cocaine, goddamn.
Yeah, I know what ditto's about. And I'm an intelligent man. Not the smartest, but I'm intelligent. This young man's a lot smarter than I am. But intelligence means I gained information and I know about it now from working in places, right? So Cain Ditto is he was the key. Cain Ditto, John Horn, Virgie Lindsay. Downtown Jackson Partners. Go look back from when Adele Danks was in office.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see the connection. These are the black men that we've had hurt us. So thankfully we're here, California, North Carolina. When you ask what happened, don't let them tell you what happened. Well, it was a conspiracy with the mayor and then some. No, these Negroes came in and let people like Andrew Matisse son them and put them out on the road for them. Put them out on the block. Go shake your booty for me. And just because you jumped out the car don't mean you wasn't shaking your ass in it at one time, Tim. And you got to live with it, brother. I've had to live with a lot, man. I have a GED. I don't have the esteemed degrees you all have. I got to live with that. And you got pimped by Andrew Matisse. You got to live with that. Do better next time. How Fabulous say? If you knew better, you do better.
You knew better, you do better.
If you knew better, you do better. Well, I'm telling you that you can do better. And let's leave that there. Let's not make this a bashing party. Let's make this an information party. The people need to know Tim Henderson was put out on a stroll by Andrew Matisse. Because if you know who Andrew Matisse's family is, they don't care nothing about you. So just like John Horn out there shaking his booty with Downtown Jackson partner, Tim Henderson was shaking his booty for Andrew Matisse. He just said, I don't want it no more.
Stokes shaking his booty.
And I shook my booty out on the streets with drugs and guns. So I've been in places where I've been, and when I say, okay, KP, check me, what I'm saying is I did the wrong thing. I wasn't doing what Stokes did. What I'm saying is when I was out there shooting and selling drugs, when you doing that stuff, I'm just as bad as them. I'm always point the finger right here. Ain't gonna be fall back. We all gotta be better. But I've never sold my people out. I've never actively collaborate with anyone trying to hurt black people as a whole. Shout out to Believe Digital and to the Internet's on shop. I've never done that. So this was more of a purging. Don't worry about the weekend. We got something for y'all for the weekend. For you to look at and learn from. And when we say we got something for you, there's no gossip. You can let your child watch this. You can sit your 6-year-old down with this one.
We don't need no monument, no statue. We just need y'all to listen.
You can come bring your grandmother. Ain't gonna be no curses in there. This is us talking to you. We got to talk to you a certain way to get it across to you because he's hurting you too much too quickly. But when we put our material up, we put up the Jackson State. You can use this in your classes. You haven't used us yet. How many racist white people have you used in your history class? Alcorn, have you used us yet in your history class? Oh, you don't want the young people to know. Valley State, have you used us yet in your history class or your political science class? Have you used any of the things we're bringing up? You do not need to say make it make sense, Jackson. I talk to students from all of the schools, not as frequently with Alcorn and Valley. I do, but not as frequently. But the others daily. Y'all ain't doing it right now. Do it. Do better. The reason we went today is because we're showing you what's happening and what's happened. Where are we right now as we land this plane? We've had a fire death. We've had drunk firefighters. We've lost over a $1.9 million piece of equipment's use of it. And we've had 2 other fire trucks burned. We've had a racist Local 87 take credit for things that the previous fire chief did. And we've had a fire captain promoted 4 levels above who's never had more than 3 people under him to fire chief before any of these things went wrong. Make it make sense. Hold on. And you had a former fire chief that told Mayor Horn this all would happen. You're going to have people die, fire trucks burn. You'll have people not being paid overtimes and fire sessions being shut down. The former Mayor Tony Yarber's mother's house burned because of response time. Funches built a house over there in Georgetown burned because of response time and no water in the hydrants. Make it make sense. This is John Horn Jackson. But you can do something about it. Sign the petition. Call your city council. We tell you all this background to let you know if you don't act now, they're not going to act for you.
Reject the lease.
Reject the lease. Now, let's talk about that for 1 minute and land the plane. We'll put everything else on the website. Judge Wingate and John Horn and the city council are playing a dance on you. They're telling you that they have to do it this way. And the newspaper came out and said the city can reject the lease. DeKeitha Stamps, the public service commissioner from Jackson, Mississippi, went on Vernon Hartley's show and said, file a rape case. And Vernon Hartley took the show down. They're selling you out.
And was told to put the show back up.
And was told to put the show back up by one of the viewers and was told, nah. No, he said he was going to do it. We haven't seen it come back up yet. DeKeitha Stamps got on air and repeated that. DeKeitha Stamps was also the one that told Virgie Lindsay, horrible. This woman was horrible. Virgie Lindsay tried to start her Belhaven and her Fondren Business Improvement District. DeKeitha said, bro, this is just taking care of y'all. You're creating something that doesn't even benefit the rest of us in West and South Jackson. DeKeitha sat up and said that. I guess that's why you don't want to listen to him, huh, Hartley? You don't like to listen to Negroes that care about other black people. We get it. We get it. Virgie Lindsay, when DeKeitha told you don't do this because this is going to create a racial situation, you didn't listen to him either, huh? So what you're telling us, Hartley, is you got more in common with the white folks that are trying to take from us than you do with us. Vote him out. We're going to end with that call. You better call City Council today and say reject the lease. Stop talking about it with each other. Reject the lease. We're going to land this plane. But Ward 3, Kenny Stokes is 2 feet out. They already have a building petition, an ethics complaint, and in the state of Mississippi, a Hinds County judge can remove a city councilman if found guilty of ethics violation. Make it make sense, Jackson. Jump on our Facebook page, Make It Make Sense Jackson JXN, for my co-host and myself, Tarek Abdul-Tawwab. We're going to keep talking until it's right by you. We love you, Jackson. Continue to make it make sense. We out. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's it. Look at me. I be looking for more time. I feel like we got more time. And another thing. Look, I'm the wrong one, but don't leave that camera running, boy. I'll wait for the engineer to leave and talk to y'all all night. I promise. I'm just hanging around to see if it's left on. Yeah, they don't want that. They don't want that. We're not a show where movement is on air. And let me tell you something. If they can say nappy-headed hoes on a radio show, do you know what we can say? But this is a beautiful place. Listen, if they can say nappy-headed hoes on the radio, and that's why they got fired. They fired that man. So